Again, good afternoon and welcome to our 3 p.m. session. So we are going to have our module 4 now, which is on fruit crop productions. And again, as usual, we are going to have quizzes, no? So you should be able to answer these quizzes after the module, which contains the 4 lesson on banana, papaya, and pineapple and mango production. So we have 4 lessons under this module, and for the finals, we're going to have ornamentals as well. So the same requirements, you're going to answer the quizzes and make a laboratory report on either on write up or written reports with documentations or photos or a video presentation. So these are the requirements that you need to submit at the end of or the deadline during the deadline of our pre-finals. So for the lesson 1, which is about banana production, we all know that banana is a monoecious monocotyledonous plant belonging to the family Mosaceae, and it's actually an herbaceous plant, and which is the largest herbs in the world, and it's often used or considered tree because of its fruiting and also reaching a height of 3 meters, which is very robust, and shoot stem that grows from corn. So Philippines and also other Southeast Asian countries are one of the major centers of banana diversity and domestication. No? Nasa ato ang a lot of varieties of Mosaceae cultivars, and bananas constitute the 4th largest fruit crop of the world. So ito yung pinaka importante at usually largely produced because it's largely consumed after sa rice, which is number 1, then wheat and corn. And the production all year round is providing food supply throughout the year. So usually for human consumption, it's about 50%, while for export naman, 32% na ginagamit pang process, which is 18% for feeds naman, and also for organic fertilizer. In the Philippines mainly, we have 449,000 plus hectares of banana area as of statistics of 2010, and our largest producer or top producing regions are of course the Davao region, the northern Mindanao, and the Sox region, with about 72% total volume of production. And since ang climatic condition natin dito is really very suited for banana production, and hindi masyadong madaming typhoon sa atin compared sa Luzon and Visayas. So one of the major cultivar of banana is the Cavendish, no? It's very popular as export to Japan, China, Korea, Taiwan, and Middle East. And we are also producing banana chips na niluluto natin, particularly the cardaba or saba, and has been exported also to Hong Kong, Japan, Singapore, and Korea. While ang lakatan in Philippines at saka for pisang berangan in Malaysia are also exported to China and other East Asian and Middle Eastern countries. So ito yung mga area and volume of production in terms of metric tons of banana by region. So sa Luzon, we have these regions, no? Total to 460,000 as of 2010. So ito yung mga producing areas natin by region. So, lang ha. 12 na pala. B12. Okay, so in continuation, banana is also very nutritious since it's also, aside from being favorite food natin all over the world, it is composed mainly ng water, carbohydrates, which really usually provides nutrition and energy to our body. Aside from that, it's a good source ng vitamin A, B, C, and minerals like phosphorus, magnesium, especially potassium and dietary fiber. So it provides us 380 milligrams of the adult RDA or requirement of potassium kasi it's very rich in potassium, and we all know that potassium is very important for the normal functioning ng ating brain, especially kung nag-study ta or we're working. So yung yellow naman to, yung yellow color or orange, which it contains naman mga provitamin A carotenoids, which is good for our eyes. So ito yung mainly standard composition ng banana. As you can see here, it's very high in phosphorus and ascorbic acid and energy. So banana is actually also considered like coconut. It is also considered the tree of life, no? Or in Indian, it's kalpataru. Kalpataru, yes. Since it from root to top, it has several uses, no, sa industry, medicine, and for decoration. So, yung kanyang pseudostem can be consumed. Yung core niya, no, can be consumed as vegetable, and also feeds for hogs, cattle, and source of fiber or organic fertilizer. Even the banana leaves, we're using them for our food wraps, no? And the root, stalk, peduncle as organic fertilizer. Banana fruit, it can also be processed into flour, puree, jam, jelly, wine, powder, dye, flakes, ketchup, no? Banana ketchup, we have that, banana chips. And also umbrella, no? The leaves we can make use of it as umbrella during rainy season. And blue, necklace, ornaments, dye, shampoo, and also intercrop, no, sa ating mga fruit trees. So we have actually a lot of varieties of banana in the Philippines, not only in Southeast Asia. So we have so far 296 na accessions in the Philippines. We have here our Southeast Asian Banana Germplasm sa Bureau of Plant Industry dito sa mismo sa Davao City. And these are classified in genomic classification, which will be shown later. And these are also local introduced from Papua New Guinea, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, India, Jamaica, Honduras, and even Belgium. And classified according as dessert, cooking, or processing. Meron din tayong mga seeded bananas, no? Depende yun sa kanilang genomic characteristic, which are mainly used for breeding, and other cultivars na unique na pang-ornamental lang siya or decorative. So let's find out. And there are also 225 na distinct, no, accessions. We have Lakatan, Latundan, Cardaba, Saba, no. These are under NSIC or National Seed Industry Council registered. And we also have very popular for local and export, yung Bunggulan, Grand 9, and William. These are the Cavendish group, or also Turangkog or Saba, Murado, Ama, Señorita, Halimpus, and Mundo. So these are grown as backyard for consumption, for feeds, for breeding research, and decorative purpose. Ito yung mga nabanggit a while ago. No, as you can see, yung Musa acuminatus, the scientific name ng mga AA, AAA na mga genomics na ang Lakatan, Ama, Señorita are also scientifically called Musa acuminata, no? Including the Cavendish group, the William, Grand 9, Bunggulan, and Morado. The AAA, so may 4 na A ang FHIA-02. Yung mix naman, ang Balbesiana, the Musa Balbesiana, ito yung mga group na for cooking and processing like the Cardaba, the Saba, the Lian, and so on. These are the triple B genomics, no? And we have abuhon na double B. So ang ano nito, yung mix or cross ng Musa acuminata and Balbisiana. So A plus B, of course, we have AB, Danay, Puvan. Double A and B, Latundan, Hilaw, Hinog, Pisang, Ceylan. And the triple A, B, FHIA does 01, and the ABB, Catholic, and so on. No? We also have sa other AAS or Musa acuminata and Australimusa na cross. No? And another cross ng Musa acuminata albabisiana, which is under processing or cooking. We have the double AB Tindok and Inambak, and double ABB Pilipita and ABBB Tiparot. So ito naman yung mga seeded or breeding ng mga banana, also scientifically known as Musa acuminata kasi meron silang double A, Agutay Mambitu, and Musa balbisiana. And ornamentals naman natin, we have the Ruduclamis, the Musa ornata, and the Musa laterita. So all of this can be seen dito sa BPI, no, sa Bago Oshero, Davao City. So we also have here total of the Southeast Asian banana germ possum, also found in Davao. We have 296 accession and 225 cultivars from all over Southeast Asia, Philippines, Papua New Guinea, and so on. And total of 71 cultivars na pang-cooking, 134 for dessert, 30 for keratin chip rich, 64 na mga unique varieties, and 23 nga seeded. So ito na yung mga photos and morphological horticulture characteristic ng lakatan, yung double A genome for dessert, no, and its characteristic, no, and this is NSIC registered. And ito naman yung Señorita, double A pa din, and for dessert from the Philippines, no. And we also have Amas, dessert, double A, and Morado, so pula siya, no, and triple A siya, genomics from Philippines. We also have Bungbolan na triple A. Ito yung Cavendish type. So before we proceed for the cultural management, I'll be having a video presentation on the banana industry para meron kayong somewhat idea of about our banana industry, especially in Mindanao. So this is Philippine Cavendish from Mindanao to the world. So let's have a look.
The Philippines is now the top banana exporter in Asia and the second biggest in the world.
The Philippine banana industry is an industry where we have proven that the Philippines can be the best in the world. We have been recognized as one of the most efficient banana producing countries, offering the highest quality standard in terms of taste and aesthetic appearance.
Round 3, Ate versus fried chicken. Ready, fight! Higizang garlic, soy sauce.
These bananas thrive best in the southern island of Mindanao. Blessed with vast, rich land, even rainfall, abundant sunlight, excellent water, and gentle winds, Mindanao is most ideal for growing these delicious and nutritious breakfast staple. The golden banana, as we know today, begins its life here at the Tissue Culture Laboratory. Carefully selected planting materials are propagated under strictly hygienic lab conditions.
The reasons why we do tissue culture in our bananas is that first, we wanted to mass propagate our bananas. Second is that we wanted to produce uniform growth of our bananas. And the third one is that we wanted to produce disease-free planting materials.
Cutting-edge research has given the Cavendish variety that distinctive naturally Philippine taste. After about 6 months in the laboratory and 8 weeks in the nursery, the grown planting materials are ready to be planted in the field. Since a large part of Mindanao is waterlogged, the banana producers had to innovate and plant the seedlings on top of platform mounds. PBGEA member producers also strictly comply with biosecurity and phytosanitary requirements to control any infestation. They must go through designated footpaths and tire dips. While drones are being considered by some growers these days, aerial spraying remains an economically viable crop protection measure.
Aerial spray application of fungicides is important because it is the most efficient and effective method of controlling black sigatoka disease of bananas.
Agricultural aircraft used in aerial spraying are now equipped with global positioning system that allows safe, precise, and pinpoint aerial application of pest control solutions. PBGEA members assures its customers that the bananas they buy can be traced back to the farm where it came from.
Each country where we serve or we deliver our quality bananas has its own set of MRL, and that is very important to be understood by each and every exporter.
"10 to 12 weeks on the field after bagging, the matured bananas are harvested. These are cleaned and carefully inspected and selected, making sure that only the best Philippine Cavendish bananas get to the export market. These golden sweet produce are loaded onto climate-controlled shipping containers to their final destinations, to consumers all over the world who continue to enjoy that distinct sweet, custardy taste of Philippine Cavendish." For every cloud is a silver lining. After a devastating fungus infestation brought to a halt the then thriving abaca industry in Mindanao in the late 1960s, these lands were instead planted with bananas. This ushered the dawn of the Cavendish export industry in the Philippines.
The learning process took long, and we had to learn from the expatriates that were sent to the Philippines. And it was a good 20 years before we really learned the ropes on how to grow quality bananas.
In 1976, the Filipino Banana Growers and Exporters Association, or PBGEA, was born after both local growers and multinationals realized they had to band together to develop the then fledgling industry. Although there are several groups within the banana sector, the PBGEA is seen as the principal and most prominent voice of the industry, counting most of its 24 members as the biggest shippers of Philippine Cavendish in major markets all over the world.
Through PBJA, we exchange or we provide all sorts of information to the members, ranging from market opportunities, price trends, technical advances, researches, anything and everything that will bring benefit to the members of PBJA.
One of the primordial objectives of the industry group is to develop cultural methods and new technologies to help stem the plague known as Fusarium, which unleashes the tropical race 4 strain of the Panama disease.
In PBGEA, share our results, particularly in our Panama disease studies, because we know that this is a common problem in the banana export industry.
PBGEA member companies have propagated Panama disease-tolerant Cavendish varieties. Unifruity has gained headway in reducing TR4 infestation with the use of chlorinated water for irrigation. This procedure has allowed the company to reverse what could have wiped out one of its farms in Bukidnon. These innovations on TR4 research are testament to the fact that the Philippines remains the world's second biggest banana exporter. PBGEA members have also helped diversify market offerings. TriStar offers premium-priced, less chemical bananas to buyers in Japan.
Our bananas are known as friendly bananas in Japan. Friendly because they are friendly to consumers as they eat bananas that are grown using unique farm practices wherein we guarantee that no synthetic chemicals come in contact with the fruit.
PBGEA is also at the forefront in the push to develop other areas in the Philippines that can grow Cavendish. Delinanas, a subsidiary of Del Monte,
mula sa Bear Brand, isang kwento ng batang matibay.
Operates a plantation and packing facility in Datu Abdullah Sanki, inside what used to be a conflict area in the province of Maguindanao.
Trust building in this area is the most important. If you have a base of trust with the Muslim community, we can have good results. We need to build trust with the leaders that we have, commanders, community leaders, LGUs, and to get the trust of our workers. This is basic to do any development of any company here.
Unifruity is also putting up a 1,000-hectare banana plantation in Lamitan City, Basilan, a component province of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. The importance of Cavendish exports to the Philippines and its economy cannot be ignored.
Banana is now the #1 and most important agricultural export product of the Philippines.
The banana growers in the Philippines also strictly observe the voluntary code of good practices on decent work in the banana industry.
The Philippine Banana Growers and Exporters Association is supportive of the campaign of the government to regularize workers in necessary and indispensable operations in the farm.
The companies have also taken steps to help its agrarian reform beneficiaries improve their conditions.
The Agrarian Reform Program has changed the landscape of banana farming in the Philippines. But our strong partnership with the Agrarian Reform beneficiaries has made this transition under leaseback arrangement seamless.
In addition to donating home lots to the Agrarian Reform beneficiaries in their areas, the companies are also paying annual lease or rental charges for the use of land to grow bananas, as well as other benefits. The PBGEA sees opportunities for industry players and a role in improving the condition of not only its workers and the companies, but the nation as a whole.
The fact that the industry's production takes place in a region with a long history of conflict and is home to the country's poorest provinces. This underscores the importance of the banana industry in nation building and forging peace through economic development, which is inclusive and sustainable.
More than 3 million individuals are dependent on the banana export industry for their basic needs and self-esteem.
Okay, so I guess that's all for about the Philippine Cavendish banana industry. Since the rest of the videos is talk about on their programs now for the community under their jurisdiction. So going back sa ating discussion on the different cultivars, now we proceed with cultural management. If you don't have any concerns or questions about the video on banana industry, and then later I'm also going to show you videos on cultural management ng banana. So do you have any clarification or question before we proceed? Okay, if none, let's just have cultural management. So first and foremost, for banana, you have to select your area na hindi siya waterlogged, no? Dapat may drainage system siya. So as you can see, kahit ano, mababa or nasa flat siya na land, still you have a drainage system that tag-as kay ang mga kanal niya para ma-drain talaga siya. And also, most importantly, an area na walang fusarium or mocha infection. So secondly, Philippines is very blessed that we have the right climate for banana, especially in Mindanao. And since it should have or it grows best in areas na merong 3 months of distinct dry season. Now, although here in Mindanao, we have some areas na the rainfall is well distributed throughout the year. And the soil, nearly all kinds of soil ang banana, but however, it's best for well-drained, fertile loam, high humus content, and a pH of 5 to 7, no? And it's very good for the growth if it is high in nitrogen and potassium. That's why after maybe 10 years of banana monocropping in an area, it could be, although with the kahit mag-apply ka pa ng fertilizer, but banana kasi is a very is a high consumer of nitrogen, no, and even water, kaya mas nagdi-decrease pa din yung yield through time. So in terms of elevation naman, you can grow banana from 100 to 500 or 1,500 altitude. So pwede tayong Even in sa mga highlands natin sa Maragusan or kaya sa Kapatagan, we still have banana areas there. And the temperature would range from 19 to 27 degrees Celsius, and rainfall from 2,000 to 25 millimeter, or like 25 millimeter per week is very good for banana. So at itong 2,000 to 25 millimeter is per annum siya or annual. And for propagation, usually ang mga cultivar natin na famous ay asexually propagated because of their genome combination, yung double A, no? And seedless yon. Kaya these are propagated by corms or suckers. So, and tissue culture technique is the best. We have here the shoot tip culture technique for mass production of banana, for rapid propagation, and disease-free planting material. So nakita niyo kanina sa video yan. And to select the planting material versus tissue culture and sucker, so lahat naman sila true to type, no? And since these are asexually propagated, but versus a tissue culture plantlet versus sucker derived plant, meron tayong mas maraming advantages ng tissue culture kasi you can buy mass or bulk or madamihan, no? Unlike sa sucker, hindi masyadong it would take time to have a lot, no? If you need like 10,000, no, you cannot do that with suckers. So for tissue culture, it is achievable, na, and it's even disease-free, unlike for sucker. And high survival rate also sa field, and more vigorous and uniform pa ang growth niya, and earlier to harvest and even have bigger bunches. But for sucker, it has narrower leaves, and although vigorous siya, and it's somewhat 30 to 100 centimeter in height. So for the land prep, it's very important na cleared talaga yung land. No? Makita nyo sa kanina, no? Pag monocropping na banana, wala ka nakitang mga weeds talaga or mga trees in between, unlike kung mag-intercropping ka. And so for land clearing, you can use actually, they usually remove using by burning or by spraying herbicide. And for the field naman, you also have to plow the field 2 to 3 times para matanggal talaga yung mga weeds and harrow, hand fork or hoe, yung mga steep slope para level siya lahat, and the tillage also be done gradually sa contour. So that is to facilitate kasi hindi kas shallow rooted lang kasi yung banana, so hindi siya deep rooted, kaya kailangan din i-cultivate talaga yung land. And of course, you construct the drainage canal kasi like every between 4 rows, no, para ma-prevent ang waterlogging and minimize also accumulation ng salt and other toxic substance sa root zone, and promote extensive root development, aeration, and also prevent the soil-borne diseases. So in planting, you have to have your layout based on the topography of the land, kung rolling ba siya, hilly or flat, and ano yung development, monocropping ba or intercropping, no? And the variety to be used, like lahatan ba, for local lang ba, or Cavendish. So soil fertility niya, no? Ilang years na ba nag-monocrop ng banana? So as I have just said earlier, whenever magkadugay, magka-less good ang iyang fertility. And planting of intercrops, no, if there are. So there are a lot of planting layout. We have the square system. Ito yung square. And we have the triangular or hexagonal. So ayan, apat-apat din. And in the quincunx, meron square siya pero meron siyang additional hill at the middle of the square. So usually ang mga the distances would depend, no, on the variety. So since taller plants require wider space, of course, and yung method ng sucker control, for example, like the usual na banana plantation, gina-control ang sucker, no, ginaputol na siya, but if hindi, so you have to provide enough space, no, and the topography again, and yung system of production if monocropping siya. And also holing, no, kailangan pagtanim mo 32 to 35 cm deep hanggang 40 for open area or 45 when under coconut tree pag nag-intercropping. And you should be planting at the beginning of the rainy season kasi water is very important for banana. And kapag you're going to use tissue culture, so you remove the polyethylene bags and using knife para ma-avoid yung root damage, and add complete fertilizer as basal application, 50 grams, and cover 10 cm soil para hindi siya mag-direct contact sa roots, and fertilizer, place them into the hole. And also you can add 1 kilogram ng organic fertilizer before planting. And afterwards, pag may patay, so you have to replace the dead plants, no? So, ito na yung planting distance by cultivar. So, paglakatan, 2 by 2.5. So, you need therefore 2,000 plant per hectare. And like for Amazon Señorita, but for the AAA dessert na mga bunggulan granine, usually ito yung mga Cavendish group. So, 3 by 3 na siya. So you need only 1,111 na plants, as well as latundan. And for cooking type, yung mga plantain natin, 3 by 4, 4 by 5, 5 by 5, and 4 by 4. So you need from 400 to 800 plus na mga planting material. So for water management, if it's not really raining, no, for a while, so kailangan mo talaga mag-irrigate, no. Yun lang kasi sa banana, you need to irrigate them immediately, and also pag nag-waterlog, i-drain mo talaga, no, ganun lang. And for weed control naman, para ma-prevent yung competition, no, kasi masyadong heavy accumulator yung banana. So you need also to control weeds that can compete with using chemical or mechanical or natural methods. So for mechanical control, you can have slashing or ring weeding lang, no? I-slash mo every 2 to 3 months, or pag pwede ka rin mag-herbicide or mag-ring weeding ka lang, no? About 60 to 75 cm from the base of the plants. Para after that, you can apply fertilizer. So pag natural control naman, pwede ka mag-intercrop, no, habang maliliit pa, na mga sweet potato, upland rice, kangkong, and so on. Yung mga under sa mga pwede sa shady plant, mga shade-loving plants. So for chemical control naman, yung weedicide or herbicide. And you can have cover crop or intercropping as well with a banana, no? If you choose to have intercropping with leguminous crops, upland rice or kangkong and kamote. And also abaca, no? Intercrop with kamote and peanut and ginger, or abaca squash, example. So for fertilization, you have to apply really fertilizer for optimum yield, no? Although fertile na yung soil mo, like 3 to 4 times a year, na, and it mas importante na base siya sa soil and tissue analysis and crop removal para mas efficient. But you can also apply general fertilizer recommendation. So when you apply fertilizer, you dig a hole around the plant or in the canopy around, using canal within the area covered by the canopy. So you apply 90 kilogram nitrogen for general recommendation, ito ha, and 30 kilogram phosphorus and 120 kilogram potassium And for lakatan naman, we have here, no, a guide by amount of fertilizer and based on ano ba to? Months after planting. No, 2 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, and 10 months onwards. So you also apply fertilizer during the critical or earliest stage, usually from 1 to 6 months old. So a broadcast or a fork in, poke hole method, or a dig hole around the plant, no, sa canopy niya. And without tissue analysis, nutrient requirement usually is pwede siyang makita sa deficiency symptoms sa leaves. So here are the deficiency symptoms of the leaves, no? Pag nitrogen, slow growth, pandak siya, yellowing of leaves, and so on, rosetting. And for phosphorus naman, meron din siyang chlorosis or necrosis and dark green. Potassium naman, meron siyang purple mottling, no? Chlorosis pa din. For calcium, thickening yung veins ng leaves and intervenal chlorosis at chlorotic patches. And for magnesium, very indicative 5th to 10th leaves become chlorotic or necrotic spots. So ito yung mga present level naman ng nutrients na ibig sabihin adequate pa siya pag nasa level ng 2. Pag 1.5 meaning minimum na siya, severe deficient na siya, and so on. So I guess yun lang, and we'll have suckering and control or desuckering discussion by next meeting. We will continue this on next meeting. So we will stop in fertilization, and next time also I'm going to show you some videos. So do you have any questions or clarifications before we end? So we still have 1 minute. So medyo mahaba pa ito, including the pests and diseases and when to harvest and how to control the pests and diseases. And after this one, we're going to have also the next crop, which is also post-harvest pa nga. We also going to have yung economic analysis, no? Ilan yung kita at gagastusin, and we will have papaya production also. So do you have questions or clarification? So I guess limited na lang yung time natin. So if you have questions or clarification, you may ask or post your questions doon sa ating messenger group chat. So thank you for joining this session, and see you again next meeting. So kung wala na yung pangutana, that would be all. Okay, bye-bye.